Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics, They're Bad For You, or on my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Now, we're going to be reviewing Female Furies, issue 5. And the cover says, Barda's Betrayal. There are many things wrong with this cover. First off is Barda ran away. And inside this comic book, you see a bunch of nonsense that happens. But also notably is that Ariel, who was killed earlier in the series, is also on the cover. Yeah, they can't even get their continuity right in this series. Now, the cover is good. Or at least it's drawn well. I'm enjoying it. I'm assuming the cover was made by Francisco Martina or Mitch Gerrits. I'm not quite sure who, and I don't really want to learn how or who did it. So I'll just say it is a good cover and move on. The first page, we have the Furies, who have arrived on Earth, and they think everything looks soft and weak. They are on a mission to both retrieve Big Barda as well as kill scot-free. Now, they can't have been on Earth for longer than a few days or so because Scot-Free has now, for some odd reason, become an escape artist, being taught by this little person how to be an escape artist. And I'm not quite sure how he learned so quickly, because this literally comes hours after he escaped, at least by Big Barda's standpoint, because she just arrived on Earth, and she's threatening the little man to tell her what he's done to Mr. Miracle, and he refuses to do so. She looks on. She thinks Mr. Miracle has been killed by citizens of Apocalypse. They came here and chained him up and drowned him, and she cries. And now we get a real neck-breaking juxtaposition, because suddenly, where she's seen Scot-Free try to free himself from a water torture prison, you know, the thing that Harry Houdini liked to do, we suddenly see him somehow get out of it without any real... they don't show it. He just suddenly on the other side. He's sopping wet, and he says the Big Barda, and we get another juxtaposition, because suddenly they're in a relationship, because she says she loves him, even though she barely knows him. They don't really establish it that much in earlier issues. They have some affection for each other, but now she's suddenly head over heels in love with him, and he is just completely so cucked, at least he looks like a cuck, that he can't believe what's happening, and they kiss, and they're in love, and it's so beautiful, even though it might as well just be a drawing. I mean, it is a drawing, but it's like this. You have apocalypse, murder, death. Then you have them escaping, and now they're kissing. Or rather, they didn't escape together. She just arrived here to be with him, and now they're kissing. As if they've known they have known each other for years, but the relationship just suddenly explodes into a full romance. And wasn't he bald a few issues ago? Now, it's like the writer, Cecile Castellucci, just jumps all over the place. And here we see Scot-Free checking her for tracking devices, and he finds it on her. And they get ready to deal with the Female Furies, as they know they're being chased by them. This is bad. It's just jumping all over the place. I guess Cecile Castellucci, this is the second to last issue, so she's trying to go all forward, trying to finish the story as quickly as possible. And we see the Female Furies in no disguise, and apparently there's a crowd behind them. Are they being stared at? Because we see a bunch of people behind them in black shadows looking at these women who are oddly dressed, looking like they're rejects from a Star Wars spinoff. And no, a Star Wars spinoff would be far worse than this. Or, okay, yes, it would be the current Star Wars spinoffs like The Last Jedi are just as bad as this. Now, for some odd reason, Scot-Free and Big Barda lead the Female Furies to this unassuming couple. Because they find the tracking device, it's on a door. It's been pasted to, I think, the door handle, or at least to the door. Well, that's great work, scot-free in Big Barda? What if the Female Furies barge in and kill these people before you have a chance to stop them? Yeah. They find the tracking device and they're wondering what is going on, and they look up and guess what? Standing on the roof is Big Barda and scot-free, and they're looking down at them. So you're just going to have a big superpowered super brawl on these people's front lawn, not no more than a foot away from their house, who apparently are blind and can't see the bizarrely dressed bunch of weirdos in front of their house in SMN gear and, well, I guess like a 40s welder for Stampa, or whatever you call what she's dressed as. Now they're beginning to fight scot-free and Big Barda, and Big Barda and scot-free manage to knock enough sense into them that the Female Furies will listen to Big Barda's orders again for a few minutes. Well, they said they'll listen to her out and see what she promised to do. Now we see more male misogyny with Steppenwolf insulting Granny Goodness as she says, "Don't worry, my ladies will bring scot-free down and bring Big Barda back. It's all going according to my plan." That's what she insists is happening to Steppenwolf, even though he continues to disbelieve her and to continue to put her down for being a weak female. You know, she's Granny Goodness, one of the most powerful beings on Apocalypse. She could just kill you. Here we see Granny Goodness checking on Tigra and her experiment Lump. Lump, she's designed for bits and pieces from the other new gods, well, the other evil new gods, like Darkseid and Willick and Desaad. He apparently has attributes and DNA from all of them, making him an incredibly powerful weapon. And she smiles and she hugs him, and as she shocks him, you can see vestiges of Steppenwolf as well as Willick, and including Darkseid, as I've said. The pieces of their DNA are all part of Lump. And he is a weapon to be used against New Genesis or anyone Granny Goodness says. Tigra says Lump will only betray you because of how you're treating him. Plus, it is the way of the people of Apocalypse to betray each other. And he's including the fact that Lump has Darkseid's DNA inside of him, so he will do it. Now, the Female Furies return, and they bring Big Barda with her. And Big Barda says she killed scot-free. This is obviously all a ruse, because the Female Furies and Big Barda have only returned to get their revenge on Willick. Because now the Female Furies believe Big Barda, saying that she was touched, and Ariel were touched and mistreated by Willick. And of course, Granny Goodness is curious and she spies on them, and she sees Willick, who cries like a little baby as he's about to be killed and thrown into a black hole generator by Big Barda and Lashina. All he can do is make little lame comments, and we hear Cecile Castellucci making what she thinks of what males talk like. And this is stupid. Now, this should have happened in the first issue with Willick, with the way he was treating the Female Furies. The Female Furies would not take this long to kill this guy. And we see him being stretched for all eternity as he's being stretched by a black hole and being killed as he yells. This should have happened in the first issue. This is Apocalypse. You're all warriors in the most warrior-centric society imaginable. This is stupid, Cecile Castellucci. You should be fired from DC. This is just bad. This should have happened. This should be like Tuesday. And we, of course, see a final comment with Darkseid saying, "Let them have him." And another of the evil new gods says, "Hey, my nephew needs a job." And then Darkseid says, "Appoint him." And this is boring, and this is bad, and this issue is bad. Cecile Castellucci should be ashamed. And I will tell you this much. This is a bad comic book. Now, if you like this review, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, hit that bell to get notifications for all my future videos. I also want you to hit that like button and leave some comments down below. And if you're watching this on my BitChute channel, Comic Freak, thank you for subscribing or watching my videos. But I hope you subscribe. Keep watching upcoming videos for more information on my own upcoming comic book, Scumdogs. It'll be far better than this trash. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.